The stream is giving me issues now. Okay, there it is. Okay, we're good. Okay, the recording's going now. But hold on a second for the recording. If we don't give it a second, it'll cut off just the beginning. I think we're good now. So hello, everyone. Welcome to our usual afternoon kitchen table talk on Sundays. And I don't know if you guys were watching YouTube at all, but I just finished my daily show. And like not even 10 minutes before, like a minute before I came into the room, I had just finished the daily show. So we're coming right off that. So I've just finished talking for an hour. The Ostrich Gate. We'll talk about Ostrich Gate as Max prepped us for in the green room. What's going on with Ostrich Gate currently? And I feel like there's like this story is important, but I feel like it's being inflated. I feel like it's being inflated because they got the stay, but they lost the control of the farm, and Pierre Poilievre won't talk about it. And it seems like they're trying to keep this at top of mind for everybody, but I don't know that there's enough to keep it top of mind for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
If I may jump in, I think it's an issue, but we don't have all of the facts about it because we know there was like the whole COVID mask thing that I believe Amazing Polly brought to light. But I think it's more. But like my issue is that it's more than just the birds. This is a like property rights issue. We've also seen, like, say in like history, communist governments, whenever they start to take power, they target like farmers in some way, shape, or form. And I think I texted this to Noel, like I want to say early this week or late last week, but I look at Ostrich Gate as a micro and macrocosm of all the issues in like Canadian politics that like cannot be addressed and fixed. We have a weak CPC, government organizations that like are like totally out of control, a like a neutered media, and it's this microcosm all together. I think that's why I think it's top of mind for a lot of people. It's like because it's this microcosm of everything going wrong with our country.
So I would agree,
at least personally.
Right. I would agree with you up to a point, though. So the mechanism that's allowing the CFIA, and I think it's CFIA, I think I'm getting that acronym right, but the agency that's dealing with this is a farming kind of rule that talks about how to deal with like avian flu or bird flu or swine flu, anything like that. And like in Guelph area, vets, some people know vets, and I know some people, and so I've heard of hundreds of pigs getting slaughtered. I've heard of entire barns being slaughtered of animals that are healthy, but had been tested, some of the animals had been tested and they were sick, so you had to get rid of the whole thing. And like there's compensation around this. So when you say this is like a property rights thing and this and that, I look at that and I think that maybe we're not looking at this through the right lens, because the policies that are enabling this, it's not necessarily land rights and stuff, property rights. They're saying the health agency has a right to come in and inspect the farm.
I believe, but they're still seizing the property though. Like the farmers aren't allowed on their own property. Yeah. And we saw even this past
week. But again,
it's the mechanism. Like one of the hens died.
But the mechanism they're using is they're saying that for your health, comrade, we have to take control of this farm because there's sick birds here, and these sick birds. I agree, Peter. The mechanism is the communist control. Yes. That's what they're doing. But nobody's addressing. Everybody's like, oh, what about the birds? Nobody's addressing the mechanism. Nobody's addressing the mechanism. If we save the ostriches, and then my birds get sick, my laying hens get sick or something like that. One of them gets a sneeze, right? Rut-row, and then somebody comes in. I don't actually have any birds, but like somebody comes in. Not just me, right? Some random farmer who can't deal with having their entire flock and a season given, what's it called? When they compensation wages rather than like selling the product made from my labor, right? Like that's concerning. And so like, I don't know. that's the thing that bothers me, that we're not actually addressing, like, do we need to kill all the birds all the time that are sick, every bird all the time that it's sick? Yeah, we have to kill them all the even healthy ones that have been exposed to this sick one, we got to kill them all. Yeah, why? And like, we're not talking about that, and that's a red flag for me. That's something that I'm like, oh man, we're missing the boat on this one. So we're not going to fix anything, I think, personally.
And like, I 1,000% agree with you. I just brought in like the idea of like property rights is because the CFIA is on this land where they have no right to be, and it's been over a year since like these birds were last sick. And why does the CFIA have jurisdiction? These are ostriches. You're not eating ostriches.
Nobody's eating ostriches. These are not food birds. Yeah, no, that's the other point too. It's like Charlie Kirk's murder. Like, nothing adds up, man. It doesn't make any sense. It was November of last year. It wasn't more than a year, but we're getting up to almost a year that they were tested. They haven't been tested in a year. I don't have flu for a year. Do you have flu for a year? Like, that's
no.
Ostriches. I don't think ostriches, like, oh, it's a lingering flu thing. Definitely look at the
These
way
are
that
like dinosaur birds.
Yeah, like, look at the way that ostrich is walking around.
Like the dinosaur birds.
Give me a break. Thanks, Max. MC.
Well, yeah. So I think, the CFIA has already lost. The government's already kind of lost this PR war.
Yeah.
Like, as far as trying to demoralize people, like, I'm not demoralized.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know who's demoralized. Like, I don't know maybe I'm misinterpreting what demoralized means. I think it means you're down and out. Like, I'm just pissed.
Yep.
I'm just pissed.
Yep. I'm
just angry. And like this week, I was kind of watching it a little bit, and like, they're lying. They're like, just like, they flew drones in there, and then this one bird panicked and ran into the fence and got injured from running into the fence. And now they're trying to look after the bird, but they can't. So now it's dead. And they go, oh, we were trying to treat it for a pre-existing leg injury. Well, no, you caused the freaking leg injury with your drones, you idiots. But at the end of the day,
they don't take responsibility for that either.
No, they called it pre-existing. They like, I still don't understand why we let these agencies have policing powers. Like, the CFIA isn't police, and for some reason we let idiots put laws in that would let them call up the police if someone's not paying attention to their idiotic antics. Yep. But at the end of the day, really, if you want to free the ostriches, you have to train them to groom white girls.
Also, wearing a keffiyeh would be a good.
Yes.
If there's an ostrich gang that's targeting 12-year-old white girls, those guys aren't getting slaughtered. That's not happening.
Nope. There we are. We just have to bust some up there and see what happens.
Thanks, MC. Ryan.
Yeah, I've been looking at it a little bit here and there, and it's continued way too long, and they're losing the narrative. Like, they need to keep up their narrative of, oh, these PCR tests are true. We have to kill all these birds. And if they're, one thing is I don't understand why more people aren't standing up to this, like organizations like NHL players and football
PETA
organizations and all.
Well, the animal control people.
Remember PETA? well, these NHL.
Where's Greta?
Yeah. Where are they? PETA, NHL players.
Well, where's Elizabeth? Elizabeth May. Elizabeth May was like, listen. Some MAGA people talk about these ostriches. I'm pretty sure Robert Kennedy's involved. So I hate the ostriches now, just so everybody knows. And I think that's insane. That's a crazy.
Is it bad that, like, before Elizabeth May said that, she had like the most common sense take in like Canadian politics about the ostriches?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, out of all the main parties, from like, I'm agreeing with Elizabeth May the most. That's a problem.
Yeah,
for real.
I just think that, like, if more people would have stood up, it would have been over with. It's continuing, and then the people that were there like 6 months ago, it's dwindling. Like, people don't have the time to go there and support for the ostriches.
Well, the fact that the RCMP there aren't even a miracle because just a few weeks ago they were having organizations like pulling out. I know people didn't want their trucks being used for this and equipment, and that was a big thing at the farm, getting those people to get out of there, and then they worked up until now.
Yeah. They're just continuing it because they need to keep their it going. They need to be right. The PCR tests are right. They're right, but they're liars. And yeah, I think until more people, more organizations, even in the U.S., somebody has got to sit there and stand up to this and say, stop this already. The U.S. could take the birds.
So
our lives matter.
But again, they're relying on the mechanism of the biohazard to stop that from being an option. You can't transport bird flu across into the country. If Robert Kennedy Jr. brought the birds to Florida, that would be a political storm. People would make a big deal out of it, even though it's not a big deal. The birds haven't been tested in almost a year, right? I think they should go personally, but at the same time, again, we're in a situation where I think it's a distraction. I think other things are happening and people are so focused on these ostriches. We're so focused on the ostriches, we can't even see that we're not addressing what's causing them to be on the chopping block in the first place. We just want those ostriches saved, not any other birds, not any other livestock or anything like that, just those ostriches. And it's a weird focus for everybody. It's a weird thing. I'm worried about C9. I'm worried about C8. I'm worried about C2. There's all of these censorship bills that are coming in that they're trying to say hatred. And I'm pretty sure they'd be okay, MC was hateful, Ryan was hateful, Noel's been hateful on this broadcast too, right? Everybody, yeah, right? Max is definitely hateful. So if the government had their way, they would be removing us, while everybody was but the ostriches, not addressing any of the actual issues surrounding the ostriches, just them.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember 30 years ago, Alberta went through they call it mad cow disease. And they shut down a bunch of the trucks. They couldn't deliver the cattle anymore. China, they said no more. We don't want Alberta beef, and it was all a scam too, because of one little sick cow, and they made a big deal about it, and it shut down the industry.
Yep.
Well, a lot of people lost their jobs. That was a scam too. And saying that, with the animals, bird flu, it's a scam. It's all a scam to control and everything like that. And but you're right. It's everybody's focused on the ostriches instead of focused on the digital ID and that stuff, all that stuff coming in.
Yeah. And so I feel like it's a distraction. I feel like they're distracting us with the ostriches. The ultimate, we're 3 months out from a Supreme Court decision on anything with regard to the ostriches, right? There's going to be fallout from the death of this bird. I would imagine there's going to be fallout, legal next steps and stuff. But it feels like kind of Us Weekly. We're being the magicians going like this up here. So we're looking at my fingers, right? But down here, I'm putting something, behind your ear or something like that.
Well, they might charge the birds with mischief next time.
Oh, I heard. Thanks, Ryan. Peter, put your head up.
Yeah, when it comes to Elizabeth May, I mean, she hasn't had enough vaxes for her terminal TDS. I mean, she's just, that drunk senile old bitch needs to be culled. Then that would
Well, I
solve
don't
a
want
hell
to
of a
call
lot.
for the death of or culling of anybody. I don't like with all the crazy crap. I don't want to give
Metaphorically.
anybody attention.
Yes,
Metaphorically.
Metaphorically, okay.
Yeah, metaphorically.
The political culling of Elizabeth May, I could get behind that.
Yes.
Um,
But a family member of mine who is sort of, well, he's speaking vaxxed, but anyway, he said to me, well, what happens if your chickens get bird flu? And he said, well, they'll either die or they'll get better.
Yep.
Like
That's kind of how it is. Yep. Yep.
So
It makes sense to me. And again, back to why do we have to kill them all? If why do we have to kill them all?
well, it's COVID 2.0. I
Yes.
mean, that's all these little, well, they're not little, but all these steps they're taking
Yes.
is, again, just to try and, well, we failed on the first little experiment on control, and let's try a multi-pronged attack.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these bills C2, 3, 4, or 5, and whatever hell else they're doing is all part and parcel. And now easing in the digital ID. Well, I mean, digital ID is what they tried with Rive scam, and
Yep.
that failed. So one would hope Canadians are a little more attuned to this tactic, but I have my doubts.
Yeah, well, and we're also in a bad way. Like we're in a situation where the government doesn't work. I don't think the government works for us. They work for other people who want this to roll out, and they're like, "This is going to roll out, and you're going to do it. And
sure.
if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it." So that's a different structure than. I hope our government doesn't make stupid choices and does this digital ID thinking they're doing good when really it's going to be real bad. These people know that what they're doing is not good and that we don't want it. They're trying to sell it to us in a way that it seems plausible. Like, oh, you definitely want controlled borders, right? Here's your digital ID for controlled borders, Mark. I'm like, well, I don't want me controlled. Like,
yeah.
Get lost. Shove your digital ID where the sun don't shine. And I mean, I wouldn't blame anybody who's coming to Canada for not complying with the digital ID. Like I would be like, yeah, that's smart. I'm not doing that either, right? Like. So it's one of those things where there's going to be if they do this, there's going to be a shadow economy no matter what. Noel, test your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yay. It was the browser. Good. Thanks, Peter. MC. Oh, hold on. Peter,
Well,
do you need to say anything? Sorry. No, he's good. Okay. MC. Good. Sorry.
Just to make it even more theatrical, the name of the ostrich that died was Spirit. So then when they were sending, Spirit is in ill health and all,
Yeah.
and then finally at the end, the last message from the CFIA was Spirit has died. And so
Yeah.
so it does lend to it being kind of pretty theatrical.
Yep. These demoralizations write themselves.
Yes. But as far as foreign people complying with the digital ID or not, like they're foreign. They're coming here. I don't mind if we put ankle bracelets on them all until they leave.
No, you missed my
like 100%. Like track them. Like when I was looking into visiting Russia, you have to have an itinerary. I'm going this far. I'm staying at this hotel tonight. All this kind of stuff. They know where you are.
Yeah.
We have lost track of thousands and thousands of convicted criminals, and non-convicted criminals, and people who were criminals before they got here, and they need to go. So if digital IDs for them, yeah, but not for us.
But you missed my point. What I was trying to say was that me as a citizen, I wouldn't want to use a digital ID, and sure, I would want a digital ID for other people, but not necessarily a digital ID. I wouldn't want that. I would want identification. I would want protections for people not to be able to, hire somebody from Mozambique to come and work in your local Tim Hortons. Like that's crazy, right? Like I want to be able to know that the integrity of the system that I have to play within is sound. But I could understand citizens, if there's this digital ID, going into a black market, and then if there's a black market, then the whole thing is inefficient. The whole thing is not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in a situation where even the citizens are going to disobey this digital ID, and so it gives the opportunity for everybody to participate, and so it does fundamentally it doesn't work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but actually, from my perspective, it works better because if everyone goes into a black market, we stop paying them,
I know,
and
yeah,
then they go away.
that's the other part of this that I think is absolutely bonkers. So like right now we're wrapped like in Greece, it was commonplace to not pay your taxes. Like a lot of people didn't pay their taxes. That was kind of the standard. And then they didn't have for a long time the taxes taken off your paycheck. Like you got paid and then you had to remit your taxes. And people just were like, screw you, I'm not going to remit my taxes. And so like that led to Greece managing their money in a, I don't even think unique way, in a European way, like circa 1960 to 2000, until they joined the euro, right? And like they had to clean up their whatever. But then there was all these bailouts and stuff. But people didn't pay their taxes as a matter of course when it was unshackled from, when it was not attached to their paycheck. And so, yeah, like they have us wrapped up right now in their infrastructure. And if they say if you don't have a digital ID, you're not allowed to work. Okay, buddy. You got it. I'm going to start getting paid in silver. Like sure. You don't want me to work? All right, man. Like fine. And so I think I think that they don't realize what they're causing. I think what they're going to cause is people to flee their system en masse because it's a stupid system. F them.
About time.
Yeah. Well, but I don't know. Like they're going to try and force us just like they tried to force us into COVID. And we got to the point in forcing us that they were talking about banning non-vaccinated people from grocery stores, whereas before that would be unthinkable. You know what I mean?
And so, that was Tim Houston.
That was Tim Houston.
I just want to point that out. That's Tyrant Timmy Houston, two-tone Timmy.
And
he doesn't know what side of the line he on.
And the day he announced it, do you know who he met with and took pictures with?
Pierre Poilievre.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Isn't that weird? Don't you think that's strange?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You know,
can't trust a two-tone Timmy.
Wow. And I mean, Poilievre's like this. Listen, sure, we definitely want you to be able to eat and stuff, but not if you're not vaccinated. You're like, what? What was the rest of that? I don't know, man. It seems it seems really messed up. So let's change gears a little bit and talk about the speech suppression. Is anybody here worried that your speech is going to be further suppressed because of these bills, or are these not, like the online harms bill doesn't worry you or anything like that? No, go ahead. You're frozen. Am I frozen? Is it me?
You know, like just think of what they could do if they get that power. If they get that power, think of what they could do. And think of what they've done in the last 5 years. If they had that power, we wouldn't even be here. They would have been able to erase us.
Yes. Well, they do
erase
us. Yeah, they do.
Well, they marginalize us to the point where we feel like we're invisible, but we're not.
Fair. I think more people view the show than I realize. I think that's true. But yeah, if they're able to formalize this, it's going to have drastic impact. And sure, like I think that a show like this is valuable because there's so many people and so many opinions across the country, and like just having people talk about the stuff that's going on is important. And if all we get are CBC talking heads talking about stuff in a way that they're approved to talk about it, that's going to be not good for us. You know, like as a society, it's not going to be good for us.
No, it's not going to be good for us at all. And even while we know how much the CBC or any mainstream media doesn't, spill the beans of the truth too often, it's hard to believe that they're going to, be more truthful than. It was back in the 1920s, there was a law in Canada that the media was not allowed to lie to the public. And it was 2019 that Justin Trudeau repealed that law. So you got to ask yourself, it's all set up to make everybody invisible. Mm-hmm. If you're not toting the line, you know, they're just going to make you disappear, and they'll starve you out. They'll keep you out of the woods so you can't go hunting for your own. And if you abide by that kind of stuff and you start to see that as normal, and if the society around us sees that as normal, then we're more doomed than we ever thought we were doomed, and we all think we're sort of doomed.
It's not permanent. The doom is not permanent because people will not tolerate it forever. Like we went through COVID. COVID was a big deal. Like COVID was a big deal. And the fact that they lost, big deal. They're now trying to put the train that we derailed back on the tracks without losing any time. And they're making mistakes. Like they're
doing it so fast. Even a child can see that things are wrong. You know, like, I don't know why everybody doesn't see things are wrong, or are they just so disenfranchised and disingenuified that they just believe it don't matter who's in power, it's all still going to be the same game. We're all on that rails, and yeah, we're all heaving to get that train back on there, but then we're going to be pushing it down the rails to the same destination. Mm-hmm. Okay, it gets off track again, but then you got your masters whipping you to get that train back on the tracks, so we can get to our destination.
Wow. Yeah. The destination is a work camp. So it's not, I'm not in any.
It's you own your, no, you don't own your own work camp, but your own work camp is all around you. The prison is the prison is you. But, and the more the more you're into the digital space and the digital world, the more that the prison is built by you.
Yep. Scary stuff, man. Thanks, Noel.
If we had a big like electric magnetic pulse, and you know, we sort of lost the abilities to, you know, have the technology that we do, well, what would they do then? And maybe that is, you know, the only answer to out of the control grid is for the control grid to fail. If it's not there, they can't do it. Yep. Right, like digital ID is great as long as you got power. So what happens when the hurricane? What happens when the hurricane comes, and then there is no power? There's no power for anybody, even Two-Tone Timmy, that tyrant.
Yeah,
he loses power too, right?
Yeah. But see, the people don't want to make the trade though, because when you lose power in that way, then what happens is there's something fills the vacuum, right? And like usually there's a bump in service. Usually there's things that happen that people don't like during a transition like that, which is why they don't happen so often, right? And so people aren't interested in that these days, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand what you're saying.
It's like somebody said, listen, you can have freedom or chocolate cereal. I'd be like, so I
how much chocolate cereal?
I can have chocolate cereal?
How much chocolate cereal?
What you're telling me is there's chocolate cereal. Thanks, Noel. Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worried about this C-19, is it going through? Or
9,
the
8
censorship.
9.
Yeah.
Yep.
Censorship, like the psychopaths that govern over us, they're just they're making the laws for the insane people that don't believe that or don't know what a woman is. They're telling them that, you know what, you can tell on somebody and you can get 30 grand, and then the government gets 50 grand. And so the insane people are going to go, oh, right on, I get money for doing that. And that's a big thing. And that just screws us over big time.
Yeah. It's like
all we're doing is having a conversation like this, and all we're doing is telling people, hey, check this out, you know,
expressing skepticism. It would be like incentivizing someone like Zexi Lee to, like, if something I said during this broadcast bothered her, and then something you said, Ryan, and you know, That's potentially $90,000, 3 people, 3 offenses, $90,000. The government's incentivized to want to convict quickly, get that money, because that's $150,000 into the government coffers, 90,000 into the Zexi Lee's coffers, and then that's 200, a couple $100,000 out of my money and your money and other people too. So like, they want to do this because it's not making it illegal. Your speech just has consequences now, and that's bullshit. Like, that's not, and of course, on the flip side, they'll do that while at the same time allowing violent criminals to run the streets. And this is a repeat of the Bolshevik revolution, right? Like, where the Bolsheviks allowed all of the destabilizing criminals out into the streets, and that was basically the plan. And regular citizens who were like, this is crazy, those were the people who went to the gulag, right? Like, that was it. You're done.
And that's exactly right there. Like, so they get this law in place, they start charging people, and then next year they're going to put a law saying, oh, these people can't pay, they're really ill, they're very sick, and we got to implement MAID.
Yeah. Or
like
they're mentally
the law
sick.
just, it'll get worse and worse and worse, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
I hope you're wrong.
I hope so too.
Thanks, Ryan. MC.
Well, I'm not really worried about it because I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep doing whatever I do, and if they kick me off the internet, then it'll make it much more difficult to work because I have to communicate on the internet to work. But other than that, I mean, just got to keep on doing what you're doing, and like, I'm not going to a camp. I'm not getting arrested or charged for this. I refuse to participate in that game. So I'm just going to refuse to participate in that game because the process is the punishment, and it's just too unjust to tolerate. So I'm just not going to tolerate it.
Good.
So don't come around here. I mean, just leave me alone. If you just left me alone to begin with, I wouldn't even be on the internet right now. But
and MC, yeah, you're right. Like, and that's what we need. We need more people to come together. Like you, me, the same thing. I agree with you. We have to come together. That's the only way we're going to be able to take this out.
But the problem is what to do when you come together. You know what I mean? And not to say that we wouldn't be able to decide what to do, like peaceful non-compliance, whatever it is. But what ends up happening is either there's not enough of us to force the change that's necessary that we're hoping for, or the government notices us and says doing that is a terrorist thing.
Well, I mean, that's what happened with the
Freedom Convoy.
Exactly, convoy.
Yep.
And at most, where did that get us? Oh, great! Now, like, Polyev is in charge of the Tories, so we really accomplished nothing in the grand scheme of things in, like, long term.
Yep.
You know?
Well, so peaceful non-compliance does not work. All they do is scoop you up and put you in jail, and then put you through their process. That is a punishment. And then if you don't play the game by spending thousands of dollars on their legal system, then they keep you in jail as long as they want. I'm not going to jail. I'm just not. I don't want to get too far into it, but I'm not going to jail, and I'm not playing their game about this.
It's sad that we might have to, it might come down to that we'll have to fight.
Yeah.
With
Well, right.
But as far as you were saying, people won't tolerate this forever, Mark, and then you brought up the Bolshevik Revolution. Well, people tolerated that for 70 years. So they might tolerate it beyond the end of my lifetime.
See, that's the unfortunate. I know. I know. There's a flaw in that thinking. I understand. Yes, I know, but it's not forever. And there's going to be a point where it doesn't matter how much they wrap things up in a pretty little bow. People are going to be like, it still smells like shit. Like, it still smells like
yes.
shit. So they're not going to go for it. And I hope that point comes sooner than later, because what we need to do, I think, is remove everybody from the government at pretty much every level, including all the bureaucracies, stop all the money going out, all of it. every red cent, stop all of it, and then take stock of where we're at. Remove the the whole taxation system is a joke. Like, it's an absolute joke. Remove it at every level. It's unbelievable. It's theft. Yes, it's unbelievable. It's egregious. It's unbelievable. Any group of people who were tasked with governing themselves would not come up with this system. Like, whatever this is absolutely effed, completely, totally effed. And I'm not saying I know better. I'm just saying I know when I'm being scammed, and we're being scammed right now.
Yes. Well, and going back to Greece, like in Greece, if most people were just not bothering paying any taxes, that means the government of Greece was not really checking to make sure people were paying taxes.
Yeah.
Here, they're checking to make sure you're paying your taxes.
There's a long lag. I hear so the problem with this, like doing a tax revolt, is there's a long lag time between when you start your protest. And you can tell them, like, I'm not going to pay my taxes. And you might get, like, correspondence or something like that. But if you just stop paying your taxes, it might be 7 years before they actually get to you. But they will get to you, and then they'll ask for the money. And if you say, I'm not going to give you the money, then they're going to put you in jail. Right? There's – and it's not – in order for a tax revolt to work, you have to bring the government to its knees, and they can print as much money as they want. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem.
Yeah, well, and I think that the amount of time it takes them to get to you might be directly proportional, inversely proportional to how loud you are in other areas of the society.
Yeah, if they want to take you down, they'll Al Capone you. They'll find something to take you down with. Tax evasion? Yeah, right, exactly.
If I knew for sure it could be 7 years, like that money would be out of the country.
7 years, you say? What's the return on this market versus the amount of taxes that I have to?
I don't know, but I'm sure if one of us from this TV show here would say we're not paying our taxes, I guarantee you it's not going to take 7 years to get on to you.
Well, and so there's business taxes as well, and that's a different thing altogether, right? So I think there's if you are a successful person making your business makes a certain amount of money yearly, and then you have to remit taxes to you remit people's taxes that they give you back to the government, right? So there's all sorts of things like that. So if you stop doing that, then people are going to be like, hey, so we noticed that you owe us some HST.
I'm sure they would do it to somebody that was on this show that was retired, that didn't own a business, that was living off CPP.
I'm sure they could too. Oh, I have no doubt.
I'm sure they would. If they could find a screw, they're going to tighten it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are.
No offense, Peter.
No offense, Peter. Allison is saying that, I forgot now. It fell out of my head. And where's my mouse? There it is. Sorry. Allison was saying national strikes can be used. I've thought about national strikes, and I think that it's a good idea. But again, that is going to have an issue with people being able to. So okay, you're teachers, and you're like, yeah, we're going to go on national strike because of X, Y, Z. We're going to do this. And then you go on a national strike together with all your teacher friends. And then 3 weeks in, you're like, okay, I don't have any food, right? Meanwhile, the government has endless resources. The people who were relying on doing a national strike don't have endless resources. So how do you put pressure? I don't know how to put pressure.
Canada Post. Right here, in Canada Post, they've shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they're screwed. They're screwed.
National strike? How good is it going for them?
Yeah, stupid. So you're saying, Allison, you're saying everyone together just stop working and just a mass strike. No government workers, no nothing. We're all stopping. So that's essentially what happened in Egypt in 2011. Was it 20? I think it was 2011, maybe 2013, where the color revolution started across the Middle East, and I think those were Soros funded. But functionally, the process of how they did it was they just stopped going to work. They went to the square, they stood there, and they said, "You need to leave. Whatever your name is, Mubarak." I think it was Mubarak, or was it Mubarak who took over? I can't remember the leader of Egypt before.
Look what happened in Romania though in 1989.
In Egypt, yeah. There was another one, Yugoslavia too, right? They got rid of the communists by just going out and saying, no, we're not going to, you need to leave. You're done. We're not doing this shit anymore. Stop it, right? That's basically.
And Romania,
was it?
They just went in and took over Ceausescu.
The capital.
No, Ceausescu was the guy.
Ceausescu was the
way
dictator.
Back in the 90s, he was the dictator they shot when Romania became free.
Okay.
Christmas Day, Christmas Day, 1989. They just went in, took him out, gave him a quick trial, shot him in the backyard, and his wife.
Yeah.
And it was, end of an era.
Cold-blooded. Did he work for himself? Like, was he a tyrant in his own right, or did somebody bankroll him?
Well, I mean, he was one of the Eastern Bloc communist.
Okay, so
leaders.
He was bankrolled.
He'd been there forever.
And they were like, "F you."
Poland, on the other hand, had a very peaceful transition. They didn't go out shooting their, president, whatever the hell he was.
Okay.
But again, they had they had the big strike, the Solidarity movement.
Okay, so there was a way out of communism that didn't require shooting people. Okay, well that's good news.
Yeah, so there it worked, but I mean you can compare and contrast what happens in these various places. Germany was it was kind of weird with East Germany and the West, but I mean there are examples, and then look at Sri Lanka.
Yeah, what
they did. I mean. I suppose there was violent. I don't think anybody was.
But Sri Lanka didn't get rid of. Are you talking about the one that just happened?
Yeah. I mean, they just got the new boss.
I was going to say they didn't realize what they had. They didn't realize if they had put somebody, excuse me, if they had put somebody through a lottery, like boom, you're the president now, and like, well, maybe not a lottery because you need to actually have a friggin' plan. You know what I mean? If somebody puts you in charge of a McDonald's and you've never been in a McDonald's before and you're like, all right, I'm in charge, make it go. Like do that McDonald's thing, people. You need to like actually know what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, you mean like our current prime minister? Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't think he does not present as an intelligent person. I have not seen an interaction with him where he has a
PhD,
I've met and talked to PhDs, and some of them are weird. Like living in Guelph, you can run into a PhD at any random coffee shop.
I went to Guelph, and there's a lot of highly educated idiots.
Yes, there really are a lot of highly educated, idiotic communists.
Yeah,
especially in the downtown Guelph corridor.
Shut up now.
No, but it's true. Okay,
good. Sorry. Just about strikes, real quick. Sorry, Ryan, but I watched this just yesterday. That basically May 21st, 2028, they are going to provoke a big giant strike across the country, right? But it'll be part of the plan to cripple everything and demoralize the public so that they can collapse the society and then bring in what they want after that. That's a thing that the Bolsheviks did too, was big giant strikes to destroy society.
Love it. So no strikes. Good suggestion, Allison. We'll move on for that. I'm just kidding. I like the idea, but I don't know. There's the downsides. Chocolate cereal.
If you do it now when they're not ready, right? Or if you got ready to do it first and then did it, right? So, it's kind of like everyone stopping paying taxes.
Right. I think that they respond. I think that there's I think there's a tighter response rate. I think that if we started to do a strike, they'd be like, love it. Let's do this strike thing. Let's destroy everything with a strike. You know what I mean? They'll roll into, it's like Tai Chi. We try and say, we're not going to do this anymore. And they're like, we love this idea. We will destroy everything about, manufacturing, like this manufacturing sector. It will not see any kind of light for 10 years. Go on your strike, and it won't be, I don't know. I'm just worried that there are too many variables. When you're being pushed into a sale, you're like, you go to the car dealership and you look at a car and it's like more money than you want. And then, people are like, you should definitely buy this car. You look great in a car. I feel like that. I feel like I know there's something wrong. I know I need a car. I know there's something wrong with the government. I know something needs to change. I know we need to do something. Let's look to history for some examples, right? And I feel like we're sitting in the car and people are like, all you have to do is sign on this line here and you can drive out of here with the car. And if I sign on that line, if we do and not even just a strike, if there's some kind of the Freedom Convoy, look at what happened after that. If we do that, they're going to use that as an example or as another stroke in the engine to turn us around into another headlong push into their ideology. That's what I'm worried about. And it's like, I don't understand enough about the whole system to definitely say this is the way we should do it, or this is what we should do, this is what we should do. It seems like if you think game theory, where it's like, you know that I'm lying and I know that you're lying, but now that we know that each other's lying, that might change things, right? It's the same game theory applies here, and I just feel like we're going to get screwed because we don't have the
Yeah.
resources.
Until
Well-
you have the power companies on board to be part of your strike and you remove their power of electricity. If they have electricity, you're done in this digital age and world.
Right.
Until you remove that power from them of the electricity that feeds their grid, you're done. Until you have that power, that's the only thing now that can scare them. If they get this digital ID, that's the only thing that can scare them is electricity.
Maybe.
Because everything else doesn't matter. You can protest in any which way, but they still have their system up and operational. And what are you protesting? Their system. The only thing that their system has to run on, electricity.
Yeah, since 2020, I've kind of been convinced there's only one outcome that will result in freedom.
Russia.
Well, please understand, this is something I wanted to say earlier when we were talking about that, well, we can strike our way out of this. Well, we as an adults might be able to, but once they have the manufactured idea of this in the kids, it's done. It's just like in North Korea. The people are brought up, they don't have a word for freedom. They don't know what it is. They have inclination of what it could be, but they don't even know what that word is because they've never been taught it. So if you've never been taught it, you can never know what it is. You never know what the meaning of it is, so you never can try to grasp the idea of that's something that you want because you don't even have the idea of what freedom is. And if we ever let the idea of what freedom is die and not be taught to our youth, then that itself is the basic root of all evil and anything communist or anything fascist or anything that is just wrong. Is the idea that people don't understand that freedom should be fundamental in everyone's life. And there are people on this earth that have been raised without that knowledge. And we do never want our kids to be ever part of that.
Yep. But a lot of people do participate in the school system, participate in all sorts of things where it is less than ideal and the kids are indoctrinated into all these crazy ideas. I mean, look at what Netflix is doing, right? Is this a terrorism? Is this a hate speech? When there was a Transberry, right? And the Netflix is shoehorning a transformer. So like the transformers are definitely male and female. And if you don't feel like a male transformer or a female transformer, you're a they transformer. And I thought to myself, transformers have like gender just like we do? Weird. And then I started.
How do they use that gender? Is there
they
gender
don't.
law?
Yeah,
They don't.
they're trucks, man. They're trucks and cars. Some of them are dinosaurs. Like,
Well,
Grimlock feels like a lady.
If you take the theory that they have to manufacture their own babies in a factory, which would be like, IVF, that's what humans do. They, people that need that extra help or whatnot.
Do you know the history of Transformers? Like the how they came to be?
Yeah, they were imported from Japan after World War II.
They were.
And
Japan,
like Japanese toy lines.
Yeah, the first one. I mean, do you remember?
I watched Toys That Made Us on.
Yeah, buddy. I watched the same one.
Netflix.
It was super good. So, do you remember also what's his face? Not Optimus Prime, the Decepticon leader. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Megatron.
Megatron. Yeah. What was Megatron? Do you remember what Megatron was?
He is a gun.
He's a gun.
And also his motto is I remember because I managed to find a G1 Megatron toy in box at a local thrift store for like an insane price, and I got it.
Nice.
Do you want to know what his motto is?
Right.
Peace through tyranny.
I love it.
I
Peace
shit
through
you not.
tyranny. Oh my gosh!
Tyranny,
If
yes.
you're on
I
Twitter,
shit you not.
you have to
Is
take
that
a
on
picture.
the box, Max?
Take a picture and send that to me.
I think so. Hold on. I'm going to try and find it right now.
Okay, peace through tyranny. Oh man, I wish I could.
Hold on.
I wish I could name this episode.
I
But yeah,
remember that Megatron gun toy when I was a kid.
Megatron's a gun. And so in the episode that Max just referenced, the toys that made us or whatever the toys one, one of the very first things one guy went to Japan and there was a gun lighter. It might have been a lighter, but maybe not even a lighter. Maybe it was just a gun that transformed into a robot.
It was a revolver. I think it might have been a revolver.
It was a handgun. Yeah, it was like a gun. And then it transformed and he was like, I have to have this toy. This toy is amazing. And I was like, and they had all sorts of, so there's no like hidden nefarious Transformers like gender ideology thing hidden in the story. I thought the story was super cool that they were like, we need a way to sell toys. So we're going to make these Transformer things and we're going to make a whole story around the Transformers driving around and, being heroes and bad guys and so. And but now they use it to, like Muppet Babies had a trans episode. There's all sorts of these shows that had crazy trans episodes and people are canceling their Netflix en masse because of it. And I think that's super interesting to me as well. Have you guys canceled your Netflix because of the trans issue? Elon Musk said you've got to cancel Netflix because of this trans grooming that's going on in Netflix. And I was like, look at what's happening in our high schools. No response from Elon.
So, Mark, I found it. It is not the box, but if I can put it in the chat, I can't put the image in the chat. I can email it to you, though.
Yeah, email it.
Did you find this one? Is that the one
I
you
found?
Is that a Transformer?
No, it was a little different.
Oh yeah,
I found it from insanely good price. I remember.
Megatron. That's super.
But
good.
I found it from insanely good price at a thrift store. It is worse for wear, but I have it.
Nice.
It's somewhere in my basement.
That's pretty cool, dude.
Ryan,
hold on, sorry.
Yeah,
Ryan, you've had your hand up forever, man. I'm sorry. Ryan.
Yeah, no problem. Just wanted to quote you're saying. It's we know they are lying. They know they are lying. They know that we know they are lying. We know that they know that we know they are lying. Yes. And still they continue to lie.
Yes.
And they will continue to lie. This isn't the first time. Mm-hmm. This has been going on for hundreds of years.
I guess so.
But, yeah.
You'd think we'd get wise. You'd think we'd be able to be like, hold on a second. This doesn't pass the smell test.
I just wanted to go back a little bit. I had a question for MC and you and whoever. I don't know. I just came across this kind of today. But I heard that Canada, the government, or it's a CRA, I think it might be the CRA, they are going to implement in 2026 that the banks tell the CRA that if anybody that gets a cash injection into their account over $1,000 needs to be brought to their attention.
Interesting.
I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of that. I got to check into it more.
I think that what they're doing is forcing people out of banks with stuff like that because people will just put it into Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies or whatever. So maybe
I think it has to do with cash. If they get a cash injection of $1,500, CRA wants to know about it, and maybe they're getting away from that digital currency or go so they can get into the digital currency more. Get rid of the cash. People won't do that anymore. Yeah, I was just wondering if you guys.
I never heard that, but I would think that if they wanted to know, like if it's cash. I think if they wanted to know that, they would just go ask the banks, tell us whenever this happens. Like they wouldn't even need to make a law these days. They just say, hey, let us know.
Yeah, that's what they want the banks to do is alert the CRA as of any cash, like over $1,000 cash injection.
They're lowering the amount from 9,999. That used to be the number. $1 less or 9,999, right? If you only injected that into your bank account, then they didn't create a fin track. Now they want to lower the threshold to $1,000.
I think so. Yeah,
That's exactly what's going on, Ryan. And
You know what?
They've been talking about this for, I don't know, last 8 months. So
okay. So
Crazy.
you
I
heard
think
of
it-
yes, I have heard this, Ryan.
that? Okay, yeah, cool.
I think it would be worth messing
yeah.
worth the fees to mess with them just by going to ATMs. You know, you get $1,000, then you go to the bank,
Put it back
and then
in.
you put it in, and then the next day you go to ATMs and you pull out $1,000.
Peter says it's any transaction, not just
Oh, if it's
Oh, it is.
any
Okay.
transaction, then you just email it back.
You know,
and forth.
the $9,000 or over $10,000, it was cash or any transaction over 10,000. So
Yeah.
are they lowering any transaction to 1,000?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just
That's what I
cash.
heard.
So if you give somebody a check,
Mhm.
you know, it's currency, not just cash.
Yeah.
So it could be a
Correct.
money order, it could be
Yep.
cash.
Yeah, so they want to try to lower that now to 1,000.
Well, I mean
Scary.
that's going to be unwieldy. They're not going to be able to do it
That's a
because
lot, yeah.
you know
Okay.
$1,000. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
You know,
could,
your paycheck is going to be over $1,000.
yeah, a lot, yeah, right.
Hopefully, I hope so. Next year that we
Exactly. Are you promising me, Peter?
never know.
I need
Never
it.
know.
Well, my paycheck's not over $1,000, but you know I'm poor. You know.
Fair enough. Okay, I have another thing that I have to do, and I have to leave almost right at 2. So this seems like a good lull, and I don't want to pull up any more topics, even though there are a bunch of really interesting topics that we didn't touch on this week. But I have to go. I have to go. I have a game that I have to get to, and it is important. And so with that, we will have to bring the kitchen table talk to an end. So thanks for watching, everybody. And if you want to say goodbye.